Today, we're taking a deep dive into Europe's payments landscape. It's a place where innovation and really explosive growth clash with, well, surprising fragmentation
Mm.
and a strategic reliance on outside forces. It's a truly fascinating paradox right at the heart of the continent's financial future.
That's exactly right. You have this ecosystem predicted to surge by almost 16% annually through 2027. I mean, it's on track to surpass a staggering 1 trillion in annual digital payments just for retail sales.
Wow.
Yet beneath that really impressive growth, there's this profound strategic tension. Over 60% of euro area transactions are still processed by international non-European card schemes.
50%.
Yeah, and foreign big tech firms are becoming, increasingly influential.
So it sounds like Europe is building this gleaming new digital highway,
Hmm.
but many of the toll booths are owned elsewhere.
That's a good analogy.
So our mission today is really to give you a clear understanding of this whole dynamic situation. We'll explore the foundational regulations shaping the market, unpack the fierce competitive dynamics, and reveal Europe's ambitious plan to forge its own sovereign digital future. You're going to come away well-informed about the why behind these major shifts.
Oh.
Okay, so we've touched on this incredible growth in the European payments market, but you mentioned a paradox. What does that actually look like on the ground for everyday consumers, for businesses?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is Europe's unique position. It's not as unified as, say, the U.S. market, but it's certainly less fragmented than vast regions like Asia-Pacific or Latin America.
Correct.
And the growth, it really is undeniable. Digital payments for retail sales, they more than doubled between 2017 and 2023.
Doubled.
Yeah. And this surge was profoundly accelerated by a COVID-19 pandemic. It sparked a 25% increase in online sales in just 2 years.
Right, the lockdowns changed everything.
Exactly. Combine that with high smartphone penetration, over 80% of Europeans now use one. And you have the perfect recipe for consumers demanding convenience, speed, ease of use, which, digital payments deliver.
That perfectly captures the modern consumer, doesn't it? We all want things faster, easier, but then there's the fragmentation you flagged. Does that mean the shift away from cash isn't a uniform story across the entire continent?
This raises a critical point, yes. While cash is indeed on a steady decline, its share of point-of-sale transactions in the euro area dipped to 52% in 2024. That's down from 59% just 2 years prior.
Still over half, though.
Still over half, yes. But the pace and, crucially, the preferred digital alternatives vary wildly by country. Think of Finland and the Netherlands, for instance. They're real digital frontrunners.
Sure.
In-store cash usage there dropped below 30%.
Wow.
And the Netherlands really stands out. It leads in mobile wallet usage for in-store payments, around 10%, and a remarkable 83% for online alternatives like PayPal.
Okay, 83% online, that's huge.
Yeah.
But it's such a stark contrast when you look at other parts of the continent, right? You mentioned countries like Malta, Slovenia, Austria, Italy.
Exactly. They remain stubbornly cash-heavy. Over 60% of payments still made in physical currency.
So it's not a single, cohesive European trend at all.
Not at all. It's much more like a rich mosaic of localized digital adoption. And this is often deeply rooted in cultural factors,
Yeah.
maybe a preference for privacy or simply habit and the existing infrastructure.
Right.
It fundamentally challenges the idea that Europe is some homogenous payments market.
I remember trying to pay for a coffee with my phone in a small Italian village once, and honestly, it felt like I was speaking a different language. They just wanted cash.
Yes, a perfect illustration. It shows that even with advanced tech, human behavior and cultural norms are really powerful forces.
It certainly paints a complex picture. So with this patchwork of adoption and rapid innovation, how has regulation played a role? How has it shaped and steered this diverse landscape?
Well, the EU's proactive regulatory approach has been absolutely foundational, really key. Its aim has always been to create a safer, faster, and less expensive market for digital payments across the whole bloc. These regulations aren't just rules. They're more like architectural blueprints for the entire ecosystem. Let's start with SEPA, the Single Euro Payments Area. Imagine harmonizing euro payments across 36 countries, making cross-border transactions as straightforward and affordable as a domestic one. That's the vision.
Okay, simplifying things.
Exactly. And a significant development within SEPA is the SEPA Instant Credit Transfer, or SCT Inst. This enables near-instant euro transfers.
Instant, that's the key word.
It is. And by January 9, 2025, every payment service provider, every PSP in the EU must be capable of receiving instant payments.
That's a hard deadline.
It is. But here's where it gets interesting. Adoption is still relatively low. Only about 16% of credit transfers in the second half of 2024 were instant.
Only 16%. Why so low if the capability has to be there?
Well, it seems to reveal a critical disconnect. Despite the regulatory mandate, the market hasn't fully embraced them. It seems the cost of speed, both maybe explicit charges and perceived security risks, often outweighs the benefit for everyday transactions for many people and businesses.
So the plumbing is there, but people aren't turning on the taps just yet.
Precisely. It's a stark reminder that even brilliant infrastructure needs a compelling why for mass adoption.
That 16% is quite telling, isn't it? Highlights the challenge of changing established habits, even with superior tech. Now, another really important piece of the regulatory puzzle is PSD2. How did that reshape the market?
Yes, PSD2. The Payment Services Directive, adopted back in 2015, it truly fundamentally reshaped the market, no question. Its introduction of strong customer authentication, SCA, that was for multi-factor online transactions. It was a game changer for security.
Right, that extra step you often have to do now online.
Exactly, and we saw a tangible result, a 17% drop in electronic payment fraud within its first year.
Impressive.
It was. And PSD2 also catalyzed the whole open banking movement, requiring banks to grant third-party providers, TPPs, access to customer data, but only with consent.
So letting different financial apps talk to each other, basically.
Essentially, yes. But it wasn't just about sharing data. It was about empowering you, the consumer, to share your financial data securely with other apps and services you trust. And that spurred immense innovation. By 2023, there were over 500 licensed TPPs across Europe.
500.
Yeah. And it also significantly enhanced consumer protections, clarifying liability rules, banning those annoying surcharges for card payments.
Okay, so PSD2 was a massive leap forward for security competition. But regulations are rarely a one-and-done deal, are they?
Yeah.
Especially in tech. The digital world evolves incredibly fast.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. The limitations of PSD2 quickly highlighted that regulation is an ongoing iterative process. You have to keep up. That's precisely where PSD3 and the Payment Services Regulation, PSR, come in.
Okay, the next generation.
Exactly. This isn't billed as a revolution, but more a crucial evolution. It's designed to tackle emerging threats, particularly new forms of fraud like spoofing.
Spoofing? Can you give us a quick example of what that looks like? How does that work?
Certainly. Spoofing is essentially impersonation fraud. Imagine someone pretending to be your bank, maybe a trusted government agency, or even a well-known supplier you work with. They send you a very convincing email or text message trying to trick you into transferring money directly to a fraudulent account. It's quite insidious.
I think I've heard of scams like that. Very nasty.
They are. So to combat this, a crucial new feature in PSD3 PSR is mandatory verification of payee. VOP. This requires PSPS to actually verify the recipient's name against their account details before a transfer goes through.
I double check.
Exactly. Adds a critical layer of protection. And PSD3 PSR will also strengthen open banking further, allowing non-bank entities direct access to payment systems, reducing their reliance on traditional banks, and hopefully fostering even more innovation.
Okay, so the regulations are evolving to catch up. This brings us nicely to the competitive landscape within Europe. With all these regulatory shifts, how intense is the battle for payments market share? Who's winning?
Oh, it's a fierce battleground. And a key element of that paradox we started with, you see the clear dominance of the big non-European card schemes, primarily Visa and MasterCard. Collectively, they command almost 90% of the card market. It's huge.
90%.
In 2022, these international schemes handled a staggering 61% of all euro area card payments. And they are absolutely essential for any cross-border transactions. If you travel or buy online internationally, you're almost certainly using them.
So it's not just market share, it's kind of like dependence.
That's the crux of it. It's about control. Imagine, as you said, the vast majority of Europe's digital financial highways being owned and operated by non-European entities. This means decisions on pricing, on data privacy, future innovation.
Sure.
They're largely made outside the EU's direct influence. And that creates a subtle but significant economic leakage and a potential strategic choke point. Card fees, for instance, have increased by an estimated 35% over 8 years.
35%.
Yeah. The European Card Payment Association, EPCA, has explicitly warned about threats to the EU's financial autonomy. That's strong language.
That's powerful language, financial autonomy. It makes me wonder, given the EU's whole push for self-reliance in other areas, how realistic is it to pivot away from such deeply entrenched systems like Visa and MasterCard? How are European players actually attempting to challenge this dominance?
Oh, it's a monumental task, there's no doubt. But European players are making significant strides. It's not hopeless. While traditional banks still control about 88% of the, let's say, a 100 billion payments fee pool,
Okay.
fintechs are growing 3 times faster, about 15% annually.
Right, the disruptors.
Exactly. Take Revolut, for example, a digital banking powerhouse, now over 35 million retail customers. They offer multi-currency accounts, seamless international transfers. They've fundamentally changed how many Europeans manage their everyday finances.
Then there's Klarna, the pioneer in buy now, pay later. They've totally transformed online shopping for many, offering flexible payment options.
Very popular.
Very. And Adyen, a global payments processor based in the Netherlands. They stand out by operating a unified platform. It essentially eliminates the need for lots of third-party banking services for businesses, leveraging global data to streamline transactions.
Interesting.
And Wise, formerly TransferWise, they've carved out a huge niche with their transparent, low-cost international money transfers.
Yeah, I use them.
Lots of people do. These fintechs, they're inherently IT-centric. They offer superior user experiences, often better cost efficiencies, and they're directly driving this digital-first consumer preference that's, frankly, hard for some traditional banks to match quickly.
So this competitive pressure from the fintechs, combined with that strategic vulnerability to outside players we discussed, it sounds like it's really fueling Europe's desire to regain some financial sovereignty. What concrete steps are being taken? This perceived threat, this dependence on non-EU actors, has directly motivated major projects, like the European Payments Initiative, or EPI.
EPI.
This isn't just talk. It's a consortium of 16 major European banks, a serious undertaking. They're aiming to build a unified pan-European digital payment system. Their goal, to compete head-on with global networks like Visa and MasterCard, and even digital wallets like PayPal, to offer a truly European alternative.
The homegrown competitor.
Exactly. Their flagship product is the digital wallet called Wero. It successfully launched in Germany, France, and Belgium in 2024 with ambitious plans for wider expansion across Europe.
Okay, so Wero is the brand name to watch.
It is, and this is seen as a really high-stakes, maybe even do-or-die moment for European payment sovereignty. It's an initiative that's been personally endorsed by ECB President Christine Lagarde. The political will behind this is enormous.
You can feel the strategic importance. That's a massive undertaking, building a whole new payment scheme. Beyond EPI and Wero, what other strategic initiatives are shaping the future, particularly around cross-border payments and, well, the very nature of money itself?
Well, a key imperative is definitely improving cross-border payments. They're still often too slow and too expensive. The EU is actively supporting the G20 roadmap on this, which aims to make international payments cheaper, faster, more transparent, and more accessible globally.
A global effort.
It is. And the Eurosystem's Target Instant Payment Settlement, TIP-PS platform, is central to Europe's part in this. And here's a significant development coming up. The TIP-PS cross-currency TIP-PS XCCY service, it's scheduled for an October 2025 launch.
Cross-currency instant payments.
Exactly. It will enable instant payments between different currencies, starting with the euro, the Swedish krona, and the Danish krone.
Okay, connecting different currency zones instantly.
Yes. And the ECB is even exploring links with global systems like India's UPI to further improve global interoperability, really connecting Europe's instant payment rails to the rest of the world.
That could be huge for international trade and remittances. And then, of course, there's the project everyone's talking about, the digital euro. That sounds like a cornerstone of this broader push for monetary sovereignty.
It absolutely is. The digital euro is envisioned as essentially a digital equivalent of cash, issued directly by the central bank.
It's a central bank digital currency, a CBDC.
Precisely. Its core aim is to counter the growing dominance of non-European digital currencies and also big tech payment solutions, to ensure Europe maintains control over its monetary future in the digital age.
So a public alternative.
Exactly. It's designed as a public good, secure, private, and widely accepted, complementing physical cash, not replacing it. Think of it like a public park or a library. It's infrastructure provided for the benefit of all citizens, not primarily for profit.
Interesting way to put it.
The project is currently in a preparation phase, running until late 2025. Key design features are focusing heavily on privacy. The ECB is stressing that the Eurosystem won't be able to identify users or track individual payments.
Privacy is a big concern for people.
Huge. They're even exploring an offline version for emergencies, which is a fascinating layer of resilience. Imagine being able to pay digitally even if the internet is down.
Wow, offline digital payments.
Yeah. Now, while it's fundamentally different from decentralized crypto assets like Bitcoin,
Yeah, it's centralized.
it is. Critics have naturally raised concerns about potential programmability. Could the money have rules attached? The ECB is actively working to address these concerns to ensure it functions truly like cash, just in a digital form.
Lots to watch there. Okay, beyond these grand strategic projects like EPI and the digital euro, how are emerging technologies, things like AI, impacting the very fabric of payments, both right now and in the near future?
Oh, the impact is already profound and it's accelerating fast. AI, for instance, is becoming a powerful weapon in combating fraud, using real-time detection, identifying anomalies in milliseconds to block suspicious transactions before they happen.
Fighting fire with fire, essentially.
You could say that. It's also being used for hyper-personalization, suggesting payment methods most likely to lead to successful transactions for you, based on your habits or the context, making the payment experience smoother.
Tailoring it to the user.
Exactly. And Europe is also at the forefront of regulating this technology. The EU AI Act will impose strict regulations on high-risk AI systems to prevent bias and ensure ethical use, especially in finance.
Important guardrails.
Absolutely. Beyond AI, distributed ledger technology, DLT, the tech behind blockchains, is being actively explored, particularly for wholesale payments, making sure they can interoperate with target services. DLT promises potentially unprecedented efficiency and security for those high-value transactions between financial institutions.
Okay, so DLT for the big stuff.
Primarily, yes, for now. We're also seeing new innovative opportunities with IoT devices, the Internet of Things, like making payments directly from your car for parking or fuel.
Connected car payments.
Yeah. And the rise of advanced biometric authentication using fingerprints, facial recognition for effortless and secure payments. A recent survey even found that over half of consumers would consider using a microchip implanted in their hand to pay.
Wow, really? Implanted chip payments.
If, and it's a big if, they were given strong safety and privacy assurances. It just shows how rapidly consumer comfort with new tech could evolve.
That's quite a leap. Fascinating, though. So as we look towards the horizon, summing things up a bit, what are the most significant challenges still facing the EU payments industry as it navigates this really transformative period?
Well, the most pressing challenge, I think, remains that profound external reliance we talked about, the dependence on non-European card schemes and big tech firms. It's a systemic issue.
The sovereignty question again.
Exactly. And this is compounded by the persistent market fragmentation. Those varying consumer behaviors across member states make it hard to apply simple, one-size-fits-all solutions.
Right, the Italy versus Netherlands example.
Precisely. And then there's the increasing regulatory complexity. While it's necessary for safety and competition, it can sometimes add significant burdens, especially for smaller firms. Plus, the rapid growth of digital payments itself naturally brings new cybersecurity risks. Like that spoofing fraud we mentioned, it demands constant vigilance and adaptation.
It definitely sounds like a minefield of challenges, but, in every challenge, there's often a hidden opportunity, right? Where's the upside?
Absolutely. There are huge opportunities. By fully embracing frameworks like PSD3 and PSR, European firms have, I think, an unparalleled opportunity to build a more secure, transparent, and trustworthy ecosystem. That fosters consumer confidence and helps level the playing field against incumbents.
The building trust.
Crucial. And the strong push for instant payments offers a significant opportunity to drive greater use of account-to-account A2A payments. That model, where money moves directly between bank accounts without cards, is already more prevalent in Europe than in many other regions. Instant payments could supercharge it.
Bypassing the card rails.
Potentially, yes, for certain use cases. And unified European solutions like Wero from EPI, they have the potential to succeed. But they need to skillfully combine localized expertise, understanding those different market needs, with a single interoperable platform that feels truly European and offers real value.
Local knowledge, central platform.
That's the challenge. And finally, the strategic focus on DLT and the digital euro opens entirely new frontiers for innovation. This allows European firms to potentially gain a competitive edge not only in retail payments, but maybe even more significantly in B2B transactions and the coming world of tokenized assets.
So looking beyond just consumer payments.
Def-
Okay. This deep dive has clearly shown us that the European payments industry is at a really pivotal, transformative moment, actively and, it seems, quite deliberately steering away from fragmentation and external dependence. The data, the regulations, the big initiatives like EPI, they all confirm a strategic, policy-driven shift towards achieving genuine financial autonomy.
I think that's right. By 2030, we can realistically expect a new equilibrium, a continued steady decline in physical cash, probably not disappearing but less dominant, a ubiquitous and secure digital payment environment powered by advanced AI and hopefully robust, smart regulation, and a far more competitive ecosystem overall. This is where European players, backed by powerful initiatives like EPI and potentially the digital euro, will be in a much stronger position to effectively challenge the dominance of the established international networks.
A new balance of power, perhaps.
Perhaps a rebalancing, at least.
So what does this all mean for you listening now, whether you're a consumer making a purchase, a business managing transactions, or just a curious learner wanting to understand the future of money? This deliberate drive for financial sovereignty in Europe has huge, far-reaching implications. It's not just a niche financial topic. We invite you to consider, how might these profound changes influence your daily transactions and financial choices in the years to come? And maybe zoom out even further. What might this push for regional autonomy and payments mean for the global digital economy as a whole? Food for thought.